Hey guys, your boy M6 here, and well, I pretty much decided to do this video because there's just some stuff that you may know. Or at least, if you're starting to meet this channel, well, you may about to know or need more info. Well, in a few days ago, I was in a meeting with Graham Bowler, the BFDI master, and it was about animated DHX Media's World, which is coming soon by the way, and some announcements of it will be announced in the next Ricardo Direct, so stay tuned. And I pretty much have some tiny, well, not to say, neutral news to say the least. And this is that this is gonna be the only show that I'll pretty much ever do that I might not even animate. You may be wondering why, well, let me explain per parts. Graham told me that my style of animation, which is image per image, as you may know in a bunch of my series, shorts, and every time in my YouTube career, ever since I pretty much start animating. And it's because of that specific style of animation that pretty much I might not even animate, because you may be wondering why. My type of animation is, like I said, image per image. And while not only Graham will reanimate, do a new version of, the theme song, and not only that, him and as well as Little KJ, they will pretty much animate, the episode 1 for now. So, I might not even animate on this. The only good thing what I can say is that I can pretty much do storyboarding. With my own style of animations, I pretty much just do it, my own version of my storyboards. But still, I want to animate for the series, but he just won't let me, mostly because, according to Graham, it's not animation. And I'm gonna prove you wrong, and I will show you multiple reasons why. I'm not saying that this is a video, specifically so I can animate on the animated DHX World. I pretty much don't mind, as long as I'm a voice actor. If you remove me my voice actor, me voice acting, Screen Gems, and Playhouse Disney, I swear I might just cancel the animated DHX Media's World series altogether. So make sure to do not remove me as voice actor, Graham, if you're watching this, okay? So anyways, I'm pretty much just gonna explain why my type of animation I consider as well as everyone considers that as animation, to be honest. But yeah, and everyone seems to enjoy my content altogether. So yeah, anyways, let me explain. So my type of animation, pretty much like I said, 2 times already, it's image per image. So what I mean is that pretty much, I do my voice lines, I just pretty much put images, about what I'm illustrating. Something like a comic, with pictures, but this time, it's pretty much just like animation. So yeah, what do I call this type of animation? Well, it can also be called, image per image animation or something. I don't really know, but I personally want to call it, what I personally call it, the orange and blue animation. And what are your questions? You guys might probably starting to have, a bunch of questions, such as, what is the orange and blue animation? Well, I've already explained it, but there's also more questions like, what made you start the orange and blue animation, and who started it, and who inspired you to create such animation, and will you recommend that type of animation? Well, let me explain, all of those questions. So there's this YouTuber called The Invader Sim and iCarly Fan 2008. He's one of my friends, if you were to believe, but yeah, he pretty much do some funny animations, and pretty much, I pretty much think, his second channel has more activity than the first one, but there's still a few animations, about the first channel, but I still recommend you to watch his content. But what am I putting this? It's because his old YouTube name was called Orange and Blue Book. You might probably know where this is going. But if you don't, I've actually watched his animations before, and they were cool. I love them. And ever since, he was named Orange and Blue Book, I enjoy his animations, and he was a good friend, and yeah. And I don't remember how did I manage to even meet, how did I get introduced to his animating software, which I'm gonna explain later what it is. But like I said, I don't know if I asked him what was his animating software, or at least he introduced him, to himself. But I'm most likely that I might have asked him, how do you do your animations or something. But then I got introduced with the animating software which I used to use But yep, which it was Sony Sketch. But then I later switched to Ibis Paint. You may be wondering why. Well, it's pretty much just because this iPhone doesn't support Sony Sketch anymore, and since iPhones don't have the ability to download a case anymore, which is how the apps are stored in. So unfortunately, I might not be able to download Sony Sketch in my iPhone. So I had to switch to Ibis Paint, and I'm gonna start to get used to it and what are the technicalities, and it just became my pretty much my new way to animate. And you may be asking, why do I name it Orange and Blue Animation? It's mostly because since he was the one who pretty much introduced me to his animating software, which is Sony Sketch, and then later switched to Ibis Pen, which is close enough to Sony Sketch. But yeah, ever since then, I pretty much just decided to call that Orange and Blue Animation, mostly because it was because of him that I managed to get introduced to a Sony Sketch, and also partially from Ridiculando, from that one apps that are no longer available in like app stores, or just that got discontinued or something. But yeah, that's how I named it the Orange and Blue Animation, and how did I got to meet Sony Sketch. And now for the main question: is this technically considered animation? And not only that, but also, will you recommend that type of animation? Well, as for animation, everything that has to do with animation, I mean, drawing and like cartoonish vibes, I mean, or it can be CGI, it can be, animation, it can be, picture by picture. I mean, anything is pretty much animation because it has to have lore, meaning, fun, entertainment. I mean, the animation is pretty much just a whole world of variety that you can do whatever you want. So, yeah, this is technically animation. And I don't care what you say, Graham. And remember, not saying that I want to animate on animated DHX Meet as well. I just want you to clarify that this is technically animation. And would I recommend that type of animation? Well, if you're a beginner and you don't really want to spend time while animating, I mean a whole animation, and you just want the lore, I suggest you to go ahead and do it. I mean, I recommend Sony Sketch if you're on Android, but if you're on iPhone, I recommend Ibis Paint. 100% recommendable. You won't regret it. If you're starting to get experience, or I mean you are an experienced guy, I mean just go and use Adobe Animate or Flip a Clip to do your animations. But if you're starting to improve, or at least you want to, I mean have an animation that you can move, I suggest you to go ahead and switch to Flip a Clip or Adobe Animate. I mean, I don't mind. But yeah, hopefully you guys will end up, and thus Graham, if you're watching this, so I mean, I know I'm pretty much mentioning, I mean, Graham the VFDI master a lot, but Graham, if the image per image or origin blue animation technically isn't animation, so is this animation? Is this animation? Or tell me, is this animation? And and don't try to be an hypocrite and talk about it, but is this even animation as well? And also, not only to mention that you can also just make the images sound me move. I mean, if you're using like an editor such as KineMaster or CapCut or anything, you can make also images move with the effects stuff such as this one or this one. It's either. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and this was made with entertainment purposes only, and it wasn't meant to offend anyone. So yeah, hopefully you guys keep that in mind. I'll do a pinned comment about it. So hopefully you guys see that pinned comment, and hopefully you guys understand and think that, and you can take this as a joke, please. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the animated DHX Me as well episode 1, and the Ricardo Direct, and some more videos in the future. So yeah, stay tuned, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.